Genesis chapter 20. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Does this sound a bit familiar? Did he not learn already when they went to Egypt? Well, they lied, if you remember. What chapter was that when they said, "This is my sister," and then the Pharaoh took Abraham's wife? Yeah, that was chapter 12, halfway through, starting in verse 10. Okay, well, they're repeating it. They're now going into a town. I guess he's afraid he's going to get killed again because he has such a gorgeous wife. So he said, "This is my sister." So sure enough, the king sends for her. Here we go again. So I'm going to start back at the beginning. Now, Abraham moved. Sodom and Gomorrah burned. And for some reason, Abraham moves. Maybe he didn't want the memories or to see the remains of the towns in the plain. Verse 1. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar, and there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Verse 3. But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you had taken. She is a married woman." Wow, well, that's pretty clear. God came to Abimelech in a dream and told him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." Wow. So God had struck disease on Pharaoh when he took Sarah, but now instead of striking disease on Abimelech and his whole family like he did Pharaoh's, he just came in a dream and told Abimelech outright. Verse 4. Now Abimelech had not gone near her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands." So he's afraid when the Lord said, "You're as good as dead." He's afraid for his whole nation. Verse 6. Then God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me." He kept Abimelech from sleeping with Sarah. "That is why I did not let you touch her." So I'll say that again. Then God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die." He doesn't say how, but apparently something has probably already started, that's my guess, in this man and maybe in his family, and they're all going to die unless Abraham comes and prays for him. Now, this is the first time we hear of Abraham called a prophet. In fact, did we hear that word before? Yeah, we did. I think maybe, we heard about high priest Melchizedek. I'm not quite sure we heard of the word prophet yet. Okay, so Abraham is here called a prophet, needs to pray for the king Abimelech so that Abimelech may live. So verse 8, early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, what have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should not be done. And Abimelech asked Abraham, what was your reason for doing this? I guess it did sound kind of crazy. Why would you give up your wife to another man saying it's your sister, and when he wouldn't have taken your wife? And you wouldn't have taken a chance of the king sleeping with your wife. So it does seem bizarre. So verse 11, Abraham replied, I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not my mother. And she became my wife. So this is the first time we find out that he's not really completely lying. He's stretching the truth a little bit. She's a half-sister, it turns out. We did not know that before. He says, she's the daughter of my father, but not of my mother. Verse 13, and when God had made me wander from my father's household, I said to her, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. Verse 14, then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves. We heard the word slaves here now. And gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like. So just like when he left Pharaoh with lots of gifts, the gifts were given to him from Pharaoh in order to get Sarah. In this case, the gifts are being given to Abraham when he gets Sarah back. And then he's being offered land, a place to live. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves. It doesn't use the word servants here. And gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, my land is before you. Live wherever you like. Verse 16. To Sarah he said, I am giving your brother. Interesting, he used that word brother instead of husband. To Sarah he said, I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. So he's trying to say, I want everybody to know I didn't touch you. You didn't do anything wrong. You're completely vindicated. I'm giving your brother, Abraham, 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Whenever there was an offense, from what I hear and from what I've read in the scriptures coming up, a lot of times there were payoffs for the offenses. And so this is considered a payoff. And it's a rather big one, 1,000 shekels of silver. Verse 17, then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his slave girls, so they could have children again. For the Lord had closed up every womb in Abimelech's household because of Abraham's wife Sarah. Wow, that was a mouthful in that one little bit there. They didn't tell us that God had done anything yet, although I had suspected the way it was worded that some disease or something had already come upon them. But apparently what God had done was he had closed up all their wombs so they couldn't have children. What I find interesting is, how would they know that yet? Wouldn't it take a while for the women to become pregnant? Wouldn't it take a while to realize that none of the women are getting pregnant? Okay, unless there was some other immediate sign. It appears to me that he had Sarah's wife, Abimelech the king had Sarah's wife for a time. This was not like a quick overnight thing from the sounds of it to me. Okay, so then Abraham prayed to God, just like he told Abimelech, have Abraham pray for you. And he healed Abimelech, his wife, and his slave girls. Interesting, because his wife and his slave girls would have had their wombs closed up, but obviously Abimelech doesn't have a womb. So what did he need healing from? We don't know. But it might very well still have been regarding the reproduction system. Okay, and that is the end of chapter 20. Hope you enjoyed it. I didn't write it.